Don Williams, often affectionately referred to as the gentle giant of country music, was a figure whose deep, resonant voice and unpretentious style captured the hearts of listeners around the world. His songs, filled with themes of love, loss, and the everyday struggles of life, resonated with a quiet power that felt both personal and universal. For those who appreciate the rich tapestry of country music history, Don's story is one of perseverance, humility, and an enduring legacy that continues to influence artists and fans alike. In this exploration, we'll delve into the life of a man who rose from humble Texas roots to become a cornerstone of the genre, all while maintaining a grounded, introspective approach to fame. His journey offers insights into the human experience, reminding us of the beauty found in simplicity and the strength derived from quiet reflection. Let's begin by setting the stage in the era that shaped him, then trace his path through triumphs, personal moments, challenges, and the lasting impact he left behind. Don was born Donald Ray Williams on May 27, 1939 in Floydada, Texas, a modest agricultural community in the Texas Panhandle known for its vast cotton fields and occasional ferocious dust storms that could obscure the horizon for days. This environment fostered a sense of resilience in young Don. The flat, unforgiving landscape mirrored the straightforward, no-nonsense attitude he would later bring to his music. His family wasn't affluent, far from it. His father, James Andrew Jim Williams, born in 1898, worked as a mechanic, a trade that required frequent moves in search of steady employment. The Williams family traversed states like Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Iowa, and Missouri before eventually settling in Corpus Christi, Texas. These relocations weren't just geographical, they instilled in Don a nomadic spirit and an early understanding of impermanence. As a child in this era, entertainment was sparse. No televisions, yet dominated living rooms, so families gathered around radios, listening to broadcasts of Grand Ole Opry, performances or local folk singers. It was here that Don first encountered the sounds that would define him, the heartfelt ballads of Hank Williams Sr., the western swing of Bob Wills, and the raw emotion of early country pioneers. Central to Don's early musical education was his mother, Lovetta May née Lambert, born in 1914. She was the emotional anchor of the family, teaching Don to play guitar on a simple, well-worn instrument passed down through generations. Lovetta's lessons weren't formal. They were intimate sessions in their modest home, where she demonstrated chords and encouraged him to strum along to folk tunes she remembered from her own childhood. These moments provided a sanctuary amid the chaos of frequent moves and financial strain. The post-war period brought subtle changes. The economic boom meant more opportunities. But for families like the Williamses, it was still a grind. Rock and roll was beginning to emerge, with artists like Elvis Presley capturing the youth's imagination. Yet Don's taste leaned toward the introspective side of country, reflecting his own contemplative nature. This era's blend of hardship and hope shaped Don's worldview, embedding in him a deep-rooted humility and resilience that would become hallmarks of his character and career. Don's early life was a blend of modest joys and significant challenges, each contributing to the layered individual he became. From a very young age, he showed a natural affinity for performance. At just 3 years old, in 1942, he entered a local talent contest in Floydada, stepping onto a makeshift stage with the confidence of someone far older. He sang a simple tune, captivating the audience enough to win first prize, an alarm clock, a practical item that symbolized the era's emphasis on utility over extravagance. This anecdote, though rarely highlighted in mainstream biographies, illustrates Don's innate talent and the small-town support that nurtured it. However, joy was often overshadowed by adversity. His parents' divorce disrupted the family unit, leading Levetta to remarry twice, first to Chester Lane and later to Robert Bevers. These changes meant more relocations from Floydada to Portland, Texas, where Don spent much of his childhood and adolescence. The instability taught him adaptability, but it also fostered a longing for stability, a theme that would echo in his later songs about home and belonging. In Portland, Don attended Gregory Portland High School, graduating in 1958 amid a cultural shift toward rock music's rebellion. Yet Don remained drawn to country's storytelling roots. At 14, he penned his first song, Walk It Off, a poignant reflection on enduring pain and moving forward, remarkably prophetic for a teenager already familiar with loss and change. High school offered fleeting normalcy, with Don participating in typical teen activities, but music was his true outlet. Post-graduation, his path took a serious turn with military service. From 1958 to 1960, he served in the United States Army Security Agency, a secretive intelligence unit focused on signals interception during the early Cold War. This period, often glossed over in accounts of his life, involved classified work that demanded precision and discretion, qualities that aligned with Don's reserved personality. Stationed away from home, he honed a sense of duty and self-reliance, experiences that grounded him further. Honorably discharged from the United States Army Security Agency in 1960 after serving 2 years in a role that demanded precision, secrecy, and unwavering discipline amid the escalating tensions of the early Cold War, Don Williams returned to his home state of Texas with a renewed sense of purpose and a desire for stability. Fresh from military life, where he had honed skills in signals, intelligence that required sharp focus and adaptability, Don wasted little time in laying the foundations for his personal future. On April 10th of that same year, he married his longtime sweetheart, Joy Janine Bucher, in a simple ceremony that reflected the unpretentious values they both held dear. Joy, born on May 17, 1940, to Jerry and Pat Bucher, brought a warmth and steadiness to Don's life that would prove invaluable over the decades. Their union, which endured for over 57 years until Don's passing in 2017, stood as a remarkable testament to enduring love and commitment, especially in the volatile world of the music industry, where fleeting relationships, divorces, and scandals often made headlines among celebrities. In an era when many artists succumbed to the pressures of fame, constant travel, and temptations on the road, Don and Joy's marriage remained a quiet beacon of loyalty, built on mutual respect, shared faith, and a deep-rooted partnership that weathered every storm. From financial hardships in their early days to the dizzying heights of international stardom later on. They soon started a family, welcoming their first son, Gary, and later their second son, Timmy, into a household filled with the simple joys of everyday life in Texas. As young parents, Don and Joy navigated the challenges of raising children in a modest environment, instilling in Gary and Timmy the same values of hard work, humility, and family-first priorities that had shaped Don's own upbringing. The boys grew up witnessing their father's dedication, not just to them, but to providing a stable home, even as Don harbored dreams of music that simmered beneath the surface. To make ends meet and support his growing family, Don took on a series of unglamorous blue-collar jobs that demanded physical grit and mental resilience, mirroring the rugged determination he had developed during his military service. One such role involved laboring in the sweltering oil fields of South Texas, where the scorching sun beat down relentlessly on vast, dusty landscapes dotted with rigs and pumps. Here, Don endured long hours of backbreaking work, hauling equipment, operating machinery, and facing the constant hazards of the industry, all of which tested his physical endurance and built a profound appreciation for the toil of everyday laborers, a theme that would later infuse his songwriting with authentic, working-class empathy. In addition to the oil fields, Don drove a bread delivery truck through the quiet, pre-dawn hours of rural Texas roads, rising before dawn to load fresh loaves and navigate winding country lanes under starry skies, delivering to small-town bakeries and stores with a rhythmic routine that offered a sense of predictability amid life's uncertainties. This job, while monotonous, allowed him moments of solitude to reflect and hum tunes to himself, keeping his musical aspirations flickering even as he focused on providing for Joy and the boys. He also tried his hand at selling furniture door to door, a role that required charisma, persistence, and the ability to connect with strangers, skills that honed his interpersonal abilities in subtle ways, teaching him how to read people, build rapport quickly, and tell stories that resonated, all of which would later serve him well in engaging with fans during concerts and interviews. Beyond these, Don briefly worked as a debt collector for a finance company, a position that involved uncomfortable conversations and navigating financial hardships of others, further deepening his understanding of economic struggles and human vulnerability, elements that echoed in his later lyrics about life's hardships and quiet perseverance. These years, spanning the early 1960s before his music career truly took off, were far removed from the glittering allure of Nashville's honky-tonks and recording studios. Instead, they represented a grounded, often grueling period of quiet perseverance, where Don masterfully balanced the demands of family responsibilities, diaper changes, school runs, and evening family dinners, with an undeniable inner pull toward music that refused to fade. He and Joy lived frugally, perhaps in a modest home in Portland or nearby areas, stretching every dollar to cover bills, groceries, and the occasional treat for the kids, all while fostering a close-knit family bond rooted in love and shared experiences. Little-known details from this time, gleaned from recollections of close friends and rare interviews, revealed Don's remarkable resourcefulness and unwavering passion. For instance, acquaintances remember him repairing guitars for extra cash in his spare time, using tools from his mechanic father's influence to fix broken strings, tune frets, and restore old instruments for local musicians, turning a hobby into a small side income that helps supplement the family's needs. On weekends, when the work week's exhaustion might have tempted others to rest, Don would perform at local bars and community events, strumming his guitar and singing folk tunes to small crowds, not for fame, but to keep his creative spark alive and earn a few dollars to tuck away for family outings or unexpected expenses. Music remained a constant undercurrent, and by the mid-1960s it pulled Don into his first professional venture. In 1964, he co-founded the Pozo Seco Singers, a folk pop trio with Susan Taylor and Lofton Klein, drawing from the era's folk revival, think Bob Dylan and Peter, Paul and Mary. The group blended harmonious vocals with narrative-driven songs. They signed with Columbia Records in 1965, releasing their debut album and scoring hits like Time in 1966, which reached number 1, 47 on the Billboard Hot 100, and I Can Make It With You, peaking at number 32nd. Touring followed, exposing Don to the music industry's highs, adoring crowds, radio play, and lows, like grueling schedules and creative differences. A tragic event during this period, often underreported, added profound emotional depth. On July 20th, 1963, his older brother Kenneth, aged 29, died from electrocution in a freak accident. This loss devastated Don, who rarely discussed it publicly, but it infused his music with a subtle undercurrent of melancholy and reflection on mortality. The group's success was short-lived. Internal tensions led to their disbandment in 1970, leaving Don at a pivotal crossroads. What followed was a lesser-known interlude that highlighted Don's grounded nature. He temporarily quit music altogether. Burned out from the road's demands and the business's unpredictability, he returned to family life and those odd jobs, seeking stability. This break, lasting about a year, allowed him to recharge and reaffirm his passion. By December 1971, he signed as a songwriter with Jack Clement's Jack Music, Inc., a move that reignited his career. In 1972, he secured a solo deal with JMI Records, releasing his debut album Don Williams Volume 1 in 1973. It was a modest entry, but 1974 marked the turning point. We Should Be Together climbed to number 5 on the country charts, catching the eye of ABC Records. His first single with them, I Wouldn't Want to Live If You Didn't Love Me, soared to number 1. Initiating a remarkable run, 17 numbers. 1 country hits from 1974 to 1991, with 42 of his 46 singles reaching the top 10. Tracks like Tulsa Time, 1978, a rollicking ode to a musician's life written by Danny Flowers, became signature pieces, covered by artists like Eric Clapton. Good Old Boys Like Me, 1980, penned by Bob McDill, evoked Southern nostalgia, while I Believe in You, 1980, co-written by Roger Cook and Sam Hogan, not only topped country charts but crossed to number 24 on the pop charts, Don's only pop top 40 hit. Don's ascent in the 1970s and 1980s solidified his status as a country powerhouse, yet he navigated fame with characteristic modesty. Albums like You're My Best Friend, 1975, which featured the title track reaching number 1, and Harmony, 1976, showcased his smooth baritone and preference for heartfelt ballads over high-energy anthems. His physical presence, standing at 6 feet 1 inch with a calm demeanor, earned him the nickname Gentle Giant, a moniker that stuck throughout his career. Beyond music, he explored acting, appearing in minor roles in Burt Reynolds films, as a band member in WW and the Dixie Dance Kings, 1975, and playing himself in Smokey and the Bandit 2, 1980, where he performed songs like Tulsa Time. These forays were fun diversions, but they never overshadowed his core focus. Awards punctuated his success. In 1978, he won CMA Male Vocalist of the Year. His 1980 album, I Believe in You, took Album of the Year in 1981. Internationally, Don's appeal was extraordinary, far beyond typical country stars. In 1976, during a UK country western boom, You're My Best Friend and I Recall a Gypsy Woman entered the Pop Top 40. His music found fervent fans in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Ukraine, India, Ethiopia, and African countries like Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa, where his themes of love and resilience transcended cultural barriers. The 1980s brought continued dominance, with duets alongside Emmylou Harris on songs like If I Needed You, earning multiple CMA nominations for Vocal Duo of the Year. Albums such as Listen to the Radio, 1982, featuring the title track's gentle introspection, and Cafe Carolina, 1984, kept him atop charts. By the 1990s, as country music shifted toward pop-infused sounds with artists like Garth Brooks, Don remained true to his roots, releasing Borrowed Tales, 1995, a collection of covers honoring influences like Merle Haggard. A supposed farewell tour in 2006 culminated in a sold-out concert at Memphis's Cannon Center, but retirement didn't stick. In 2010, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, a long overdue honor. He returned with And So It Goes, 2012, collaborating with Alison Krauss, Keith Urban, and Vince Gill on tracks like Infinity. His final UK tour in 2014 drew adoring crowds before he retired definitively in March 2016, stating, "It's time to hang my hat up and enjoy some quiet time at home. I'm thankful to all my fans, friends, and family for their everlasting love and support." Don's life extended far beyond charts and stages. It was rich with personal narratives that revealed his emotional core and made him profoundly relatable. His marriage to Joy, spanning from 1960 until his passing, was a rarity in entertainment, enduring the pressures of touring and fame. In interviews, Don described her as his steadfast partner. "She's been there through it all, the ups and downs, keeping me anchored when things got stormy." Their Nashville area ranch became a private oasis, where Don indulged in hobbies like raising horses, a passion that connected him to his rural roots. He was a dedicated father to Gary and Timmy, prioritizing family over the spotlight, rarely allowing media intrusion into their lives. A little-known aspect of Don's character was his deep faith. He served as a church elder in his local congregation, drawing spiritual strength that influenced his music's themes of hope and redemption. Tragedy marked his personal story, particularly the 1963 electrocution death of his brother, Kenneth. Don seldom spoke of it, but in a rare reflection he said, "Losing someone close like that, it changes how you see the world, makes every moment count." This grief surfaced subtly in songs about loss, like If Hollywood Don't Need You. Solitude was Don's coping mechanism. He once shared, "One of the things that's helped me more than anything is getting off by myself to think things through. Reflecting on where I'm from reassures me and pushes me forward." Fans' anecdotes humanize him further. A concert goer from the 1980s recalled Don halting mid-performance of "Lord, I Hope This Day Is Good," eyes welling, dedicating it to lost loved ones, evoking shared vulnerability. His songwriting was deeply introspective. "I've always seen myself more as a writer than a singer. It's the most fulfilling part," he noted, with lyrics mirroring his isolation amid fame and the simple joys of love. Admiration for peers added emotional layers. Despite collaborations, Don lamented drifts, like with Eric Clapton. "We haven't spoken in years, but I hold tremendous respect for his talent." Yet joys abounded. His 2012 comeback album felt like a celebration, with guests praising his enduring voice. These stories underscore Don's psychological depth, a man of contradictions, strong yet tender, public yet private, whose art bridged his inner world to ours. While Don's career was largely scandal-free, subtle controversies and debates add nuance to his legacy. Critics often questioned his laid-back approach. Was it innovative or merely comfortable? In the 1980s, as country embraced pop elements with stars like Kenny Rogers, Don's resistance to trends led some to deem him outdated, sparking discussions on genre evolution. His early Pozo Seco manager, known for aggressive tactics, prompted whispers of exploitation in his folk days. Internationally, his popularity in non-Western nations raised ethical questions: genuine cultural exchange or subtle imperialism. Later health battles, emphysema possibly from smoking, ignited debates on the industry's toll, with Don subtly addressing, "I've faced challenges, but stayed true." Historians debate his 2010 Hall of Fame induction, Was it delayed by his low-key persona? His influence on modern crooners, like Alan Jackson, is clear, yet real-time recognition lagged, inviting reevaluation of understated talent in a flashy world. Don's impact extends deeply into emotional, cultural, and societal realms, resonating even in 2025. His music defined country's heartfelt essence, inspiring covers by Johnny Cash, Eric Clapton, and contemporary artists like Chris Stapleton. Culturally, he globalized the genre, fostering appreciation in diverse locales like India and South Africa. Emotionally, his ballads provided comfort during hardships, promoting empathy. Subtly political, his working-class tales echoed in economic downturns. Lessons abound. Authenticity prevails. His path from laborer to icon exemplifies resilience. In today's chaotic world, Don reminds us to value connections over noise. As of 2025, tributes continue. Social media posts and videos celebrate his legacy, affirming his timeless relevance. In reflection, Don Williams lived with quiet grace, embodying human fragility and beauty. From Texas fields to global stages, his story teaches gentleness as strength. As he said, "The road of life twists and turns, and no two directions are ever the same. Yet our lessons come from the journey, not the destination." Passing on September 8, 2017, at 78 from emphysema, his music endures, a gentle reminder of shared humanity. May it inspire you always.